So, welcome everyone. Wonderful to have you all here. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to share with you today, which are interesting. And we've got a special guest as well, who was here, but she's run away. So I don't know. Anyway, I assume she's here somewhere. But before we get into Susana, what I wanted to share with you was,
Right now.
are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm busy online going, are you live? Are we live? Are we live? We're live. So I've got people tuning in on Instagram and joining us. I'm so excited. For all of you that are on the Wealth Migrate platform, hello. I'm Susana Kennedy, and I'm so excited to be with you guys today. I don't know if you guys know my journey of joining Wealth Migrate, but and Scott, but this year I really wanted to, oh dear, this year I really wanted to work on creating the financial freedom that I want, that is a lasting financial freedom. So I am excellent at manifesting things. I've manifested $1 million before, which for those of you who are not South African, bucks is rand. Oh, look, the universe is celebrating that. But then I can spend it as quickly as it came in, right? So what I'm really focusing on this year is creating lasting financial freedom and passive income. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is collaborating with the wonderful Scott Picken, who I have had the pleasure and honor of sharing the stage with a number of times now. And Scott's heart is just in the absolute right place. He wants to create financial abundance and freedom for as many people as possible. And because he is so in alignment with my heart of wanting to do exactly the same, we decided to collaborate. And so today, Scott, I'm very excited about this. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to be actually investing in some international properties, and I'm going to be doing it with you, guided by you. One thing I didn't do, Scott, was I should have opened my Wealth Migrate, the actual platform, right? And getting it ready so that I
Yeah.
can,
Well, I tell you what,
yeah.
you do that because I've got a little bit of a synopsis that I want to do just before we get
Okay.
into the investing. So you do that in the
All
meantime.
right.
So one of the things that I thought was relevant, and many of you have heard me talk about this. I'll just put the spotlight on me
Yes, please.
while you're trying to figure out your password. So yeah, so obviously there's some really interesting things happening in the market. Trump and the tariffs and China's rebuttal and everything in between. It is very tumultuous. It's quite hard to know what's going on. And for someone who sort of is in the investment game and has prided himself on spending nearly 3 decades in trying to understand this stuff, even I'm a little bit like, wow, what the hell is going on? And more importantly, why is this happening? So when I find myself in that type of situation, there's two things I do. The first one is that I've always liked Ray Dalio. And the reason I like Ray Dalio is because he seems to be he never has like you can't invest with Ray Dalio unless you've got $100 million. So again, Robert Kiyosaki will stand on stage and he'll tell you to do something, but then the week after that, he'll sell you a course. Whereas Ray Dalio, like he just calls it as he sees it. He's studied markets for over 500 years. I think most of you that are here would know kind of who Ray Dalio is. But what I wanted to share with you quickly was this document that I put together this week, and I shared it today. So as part of our weekly wealth strategy, we bring this out every week of what is basically happening. And let me share and open it for you here. But in simple terms, what I wanted to do was to go out and say, okay, cool. What is happening? And more importantly, what does Ray Dalio have to say about it? So I went and researched and I said, right, what is the latest information that's out there? And I think there's three underlying causes that are creating this economic strain: unsustainable debt dynamics, increasing domestic inequalities, and shifts in global power dynamics. So I assume everyone knows what that means, but basically governments have borrowed too much money. Increasing domestic is between the haves and the have-nots. And the shifts in global power dynamics, effectively, it's the East and the West. It's the China-American thing. Then looking at tariffs and whether they actually work, it talks about the economic disruptions and the strategic considerations. And then finally, what are the recommendations? You always know when it comes to Ray Dalio, he always talks about diversification. He says it's the single most important component to financial success. And then you've got risk assessment. How do you look at risk? And then finally focusing on the fundamentals. Now, I thought this was really interesting because you can literally go and it's a 2-page review. You can see the different reports that I pulled it from. And then we talk about next week, because I said there were 2 things. The one thing is that I go and research and I look at the likes of Ray Dalio and everything. The other thing is I'm super grateful to be part of the mastermind. And literally next week, Wednesday, is our monthly mastermind session where the family office, Anthony and the Calio team will come in and they'll give us their overview in terms of everything that we need to look at. So, if you want to know who Ray Dalio is, you can go read about it. You can see his track record. The reason I think he's someone to pay attention to is he manages $160 billion and he's got an average return of 21% a year on year for the last 40 years, which is pretty spectacular in terms of that process. So anyway, and you can go and see the articles there. So that's my little hack for you to make your life a little bit easier, to go and see what Ray Dalio has to say. And I think how this pivots into yourself, Susana, is that there was an article that came out this week that Alex shared with me. And he said, in these uncertainty times, you still have to put your cash to work. And if you take the fundamentals of what Ray Dalio is saying, so you've got diversification. So firstly, you don't want to put all your money into one country, one asset, one currency, one partner, anything along those lines. And the second thing that you want is that you need to look at the fundamentals. So if you look here, he had 3 things. He had diversification. Let me share my screen again. He had diversification. He had risk assessment, so understand how to analyze risk. And he spoke about the significant risk that is in the current stock market environment. And then finally, the focus on the fundamentals. And what becomes really important here is that when you look at it, and you've heard me talk about this week in and month after month, is that's why so much money is moving to the alternative markets, because they are far more stable. They are not as susceptible to market swings. They're not driven by sentiment and whether China is or isn't imposing a tariff, or America is or isn't imposing a tariff, and in terms of that process. So that's just an overview. You should all have access to that synopsis. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to help. But where I wanted to pivot, and Susana and I were talking about it, and there's nothing more powerful than actually seeing real people getting real results. And so Susana spoke about, why don't we actually do a live demonstration where we actually take her through, like, what is her strategy? What's she trying to achieve? What are the different investment options on the platform? What is her wealth plan? How does it come together? And then most importantly, how does it all tie together? And Susana, if you're ready, I'm ready to get you into that process. Now,
yes.
we
I'm here.
we haven't rehearsed this in any way.
No.
But I think the point being is that I'd like to almost just demo what it would be like in terms of a live environment. Now, I normally do this in the one-to-many space. So whenever I do the presentations, etc., I teach people how to basically create a wealth plan and then create a strategy. But I'm conscious of our time. So what we're going to do is that my aim is within 45 minutes, I want to do the strategy with you. I want to do the plan with you. I want to show you how you can create the numbers. It won't all necessarily be 100% accurate in 45 minutes, but we'll give you a good roadmap. And then I want to go on the platform. I want to look at the deals, and then I want to help you assimilate the deals which tie to your strategy. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense, and I'm very excited.
Okay, so let's get started. I got my iPad to take notes here. So let's get started. And if we were going to talk about an investment strategy to start off with, you mentioned to me yesterday some things that were important to you. So just talk to me about some of the things that your sort of wants and needs. And again, this is obviously individualistic per person, but what do you kind of want to get out of investments? What do you want to achieve?
Okay, well, one of the things I think, just to contextualize it, is when we did our wealth weekend, one of the things I loved about working with Calio, which is one of the perks of working with you, with Wealth Migrate, is that you get the Calio team that supports the journey as well. Is that what I realized by working with them and doing the different tests and everything else, is that I am a conscious investor that is very interested in impact investments, investments that not only are growing my money, growing my wealth, but also have a positive impact in what they are creating for a community, for a society, whatever it is, for nature, for whatever it is. So I'm definitely interested in looking for opportunities that not only benefit me, but benefit others or, the planet in some way. So I think that that's something important. The other thing that I really liked the idea of is that there's certain investments that you put money in and then you've got to wait, and then and you put money in and you put money in and you wait and eventually it pays out, right? But there's other types of investments that create passive income. And so it's investments that you put money in, but there is a payout, like, in a couple of years or whatever it is. But in the meantime, there's a passive income generation that is happening. So those are kind of my two main criterias.
Okay.
Does that give you enough information?
Yeah, perfect. No, that helps. Okay, excellent. So there's a couple of tools that I wanted to share with people. And again, a number of people could have seen this before, but let me just go to them. So there's two things that I want to share with people. The first is what we call our freedom calculator. Okay, and you can basically see like what this is. And then the other is what we call our wealth plan certificate. Now, I've got a little course on how to take people through this, and but I'm just going to do a very high level overview for you. So the way that you would do this, you take your wealth plan certificate, you take today, let's just make it the 11th of April, 2025, and you would put in here Susana Kennedy, and I would, if I was you, you don't have to do it now, but I would take the time over the weekend to think through what are your 5 whys. Like why is passive income important to you? Why is freedom important to you? What is financial, freedom? Whatever it is, like, and again, I use myself as an example here. Let me just open my own wealth plan. So if you just take me, because I always like to cheat, and what I mean by cheating is like see what someone else has. So like I want to have the freedom to live where I want, live how I want, how I earn my income, where my son goes to school or university, where I go on holiday, basically live life unlimited. I want to provide for those who I care about, like my uncle did, without constraint. I want to have the freedom to choose what I want to do with my time and with whom I want to spend it. I want to be able to contribute in a meaningful way and have a purposeful impact on the planet. I want to inspire people
My
to...
daughter has a small plan. Yeah.
Hang on. Let's just see. Please just mute whoever's talking.
Yeah.
While you're muting whoever's talking, Shanika, thank you for the link. I hope she's listening. Anyway, I can't respond to your WhatsApp right now, but thank you so much for the link. I got it.
Can I just ask that everyone mutes themselves, please? Anyway, so I think you get the point. And so, Susana, this is obviously personal to you. And this is based on Simon Sinek. And it talks about the power of why. Because everyone in life always wants, how do I make money? What do I do? But if you get clear on your why, you'll run through mountains to make it happen. Like, and you'll notice there, none of my things were like, I want to make $3 or $10. It was like, why is it important to me? So that in terms of our wealth plan, it always starts with the why. Okay. And this is literally, if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend you or anyone else go watch it. It's the second most watched TED talk literally ever. And it's the power of why. Okay. So, but now we go to the next point. So assuming we know what your why is, okay, and that's yours, it's personal, you go and do it. Now we want to get into your how. So your passive freedom goal per month, you told me was, and I've done the maths, the conversion is effectively $13,000 a month. Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
Now, the average cash on cash return, I would like to be conservative. You're going to get a range between kind of 6 and 8, but if you took an average of 6 and 10, but if you took an average, it would be roughly 8%. In terms of it. So I'm not I don't want to shoot the lights out. I want to be fairly conservative to be predictable to help you achieve it. This is not just in one investment, it's across multiple investments. But what it allows you to do is to kind of give yourself a long-term trajectory in terms of that process. Now, if we now go back to the calculator and you see here, you're wanting to get $13,000 a month, which is the equivalent. This calculator does an automatic conversion because it's linked into the daily exchange rate. By the way, you can do this in any currency. You can make this rand, pounds, dollar, you name whatever currency you want. And if you're getting an 8% return, the number you're going to see here gets a little bit scary to start off with because the capital required is just short of $2 million. Okay. Now, what I said is you're starting with no starting capital. Again, you might tell me I'm wrong. And I just guessed it. I said, if you do $1,000 a month, and you get an average total return of 15%, which again is an average number. And then I put in 25 years. You'll notice I do this. I start long. Okay. You'll see that the number's in green. So all you actually care about here is a color. If it's in green, it's good. If it's in red, it's bad. So I'll show you what I mean. You say, no, I want to do it in 5 years. Bam, fail, like it doesn't work. Okay. So there's two ways of doing this. It's like a seesaw. You can either increase the amount of money per month, or you can increase the amount of time. It's a seesaw because the returns on the investments don't change dramatically. 8 and 15 are pretty stock standard. So I was playing around here, and if you look here, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, okay, 22. So this is a calculator. You can play with it, like in terms of the process. And I mean, it's personal for different people. But say, for example, you were to commit, and I know you said that your income fluctuates up and down per month. Most entrepreneurs do. But you could still commit an amount per year, like as an example, like, right, I'm going to do $1,000 a month, which is an average of 12,000 a year. Or you could say, I'm going to do, and you'd say, no, like to get to my freedom goal, 22 years is too long. Okay. And you say, no, I don't like that. Okay, well, cool. So you could play around and you say, okay, well, if I did $2,000 and I did that for 15 years, that's not going to work. 16 years, 17 years, 18 years, there was 18. So the point being is you can play around with. The other thing you can play with is that most people want to increase the amount that they invest per year. So like ideally in life, we're always adding value. So maybe you're going to increase it by 10% a year, but if you increased it by 15, it makes a dramatic impact. You can see here 16. Okay, so if you look here just quickly, okay, let's just take that as a round number for now. Okay, so the year is 2025. You look 21, so you'll but you can put your age in here in terms of the process. But realistically, let's just say you do mine because I'm 40. Oh, geez, I'm not 47 anymore. I'm 48. Had my birthday. So what you would do now, if you go back to your wealth plan, you can see there. So it's $2,000. So you'd go in here, you'd say, right, I'm going to commit $2,000 a month. I'm aiming for a total return of 15%. And I'm aiming to invest, how many years was it? 17 years. 17 years. The year I will be free is 2042. And I will be what age was I? 65. I commit to start. Yeah.
Can we go back a sec?
Yeah.
So what I said to you is within a year. Like that's the passive income I want to be earning within a year.
Yep.
Right. So what would that scary number look like now?
Well, so the challenge is that with the calculator to achieve it in a year, there's two ways. You've got passive and active income. The passive, like to get to that point, you're going to need in the region of like a capital amount of this on the assumption you're earning between around an 8% cash on cash return. Okay. So there's and that's the thing. It takes time to build the passive income because based on compound interest, you're growing your capital every year. So the capital's growing on top of the capital in terms of the process. And ideally, you want to reinvest so that you've got it. I mean, there's strategies and stuff I can take you through to accelerate it, but as I always say to people, this is not a get rich quick scheme. Like this is a investment. This is wealth protection. It's about time, and it's about investing in healthy things. But what I want to show you, just for the purposes of today, was that you're looking for a net cash on cash return of about 8% in average. It's going to impact the investments we're about to look at, and you're looking for a net IRR of around 15%, which is, remember, cash on cash is your income that you're earning. And your IRR, your internal rate of return, is your total between your income plus your capital growth.
Yeah.
With me,
So can we change that top number to $1 million a month? Because if we're going to go for 5 years, like a 5-year investment plan, then that would be a more realistic thing. Because I want to do 250,000 a month passive income within a year. And so,
so do you want to change this per month? Yeah. So you want to put in
the
a
top
per
line,
month.
the passive freedom goal.
So that's the number. So that's the number you wanted, passive income. That's the goal.
Yeah, I'm saying I want to change that.
To what number do you want to change it to?
Make it R1 million, which I don't know what it is in dollars.
R1 million, so per month.
Yes. In 5, like, but then let's make that over, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years even. That's fine. Okay,
so you would, so the point being is that I could do the conversion. It's 26. It'd be, this would be remember, this is per month, huh? So if you put in, it'll be 52, because that'll be roughly $1 million. Okay.
Yeah.
In simple terms, the capital target you would need to achieve that would be sitting in the region of $7.8 million. Like that's
okay.
That's the capital target to achieve that. Now, there's 2 ways of doing that. One is you can grow a business and create a lot of value in terms of the process, and or you can do it over time, and through investing you can build it up over time. Now, again, you're part of the mastermind, so you're actually going to go into this in a lot more detail. You saw it at the Wealth Weekend, where Anthony will put you through a whole process with the ALM, which is the wealth plan. Let me just show you what I mean here quickly. So he's going to do the full plan. Where's it gone now? Give me 2 seconds. Where's it gone? So he's gonna do your portfolio construction, and then he's going to put a full plan together. Remember, I'm just doing high level today in terms of high level understanding. But what I want to do for the purposes of what we want to achieve today is I wanted to show you that on this, you need to be looking for these type of returns. Now, why this is relevant, if we now go and it'll be probably easier. Have you managed to log in now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to log in on my side as well, so that I can show you around a little bit. I'll show you around, and then we're going to go pivot to you.
Okay.
So the first thing that's important here is that this is your wallet. So you can have it in your own name, you can have it in a company or a trust. In terms of your process, you can go look at your portfolio. I know in your case you're just getting started, but if you want to go look at your investments, you can see my different investments. You can see when you invested, distributions, cash on cash, etc. You can go to your wallet. So you can see all of your investments that are made here, the interest, the return, everything else that's coming into your wallet. And then if you ever want to manage your portfolio, you can manage your portfolio here and update all your documents and everything else. But what's important today is we want to take you through. So if you come to the platform, you'll see that there are 6 deals that are live at the moment in terms of where we're at. So I want to give you a high level overview based on what you said around strategy. So there's 2 things that we need to be looking at. We need to be looking at strategy, and then we also need to be looking at your wealth plan in terms of the 2, because the 2 tie together. So let's start with your strategy. So the 2 things you spoke about was being a conscious investor and earning a passive income. So let's look at the ones that are conscious and the ones that aren't conscious. Okay, it's like, call it a tick box, yes, no. Okay, in my opinion, the Manhattan deals are probably not very conscious. Okay, like you are effectively partnering with a developer. you're taking an old Catholic church and you are renovating it into 42 new apartments and then having retail shopping at the bottom. Okay, now it's not good and it's not bad. It's just a new development. You live in Cape Town, that happens all the time. Okay, but it's you could say it's uplifting the community if you really wanted to stretch and say that it's an old abandoned church and whatever. But if you know, practically it's a new development, it's for profit, and you're going to provide 42 wealthy people with new accommodation in Manhattan. I mean, that's the truth, you know. Whereas if you take Carryfit private equity, I would say that's far more conscious. You heard about that at the Wealth Weekend. That's a business. Obviously, you're investing in the business, you're becoming a shareholder in the business, but it's all about mothers and baby wear. And there's advanced technology there. They've got a whole bunch of trademarks, etc. There's an app, so it links together the app and the hardware. And I think what you're finding there is that you are definitely making a significant improvement. Like it's a step change in terms of the baby carriers that are out there, and obviously the impact you're having on mothers and babies around the world. Then this one is the one that you really liked from the Wealth Weekend. And this is actually a business that lends to other business owners. So the small to medium enterprise businesses in America are one of the fastest growing markets in the world. But the banking industry is you know, since the global financial crisis in 2008 has let sort of small business down, and medium-sized business. It's very hard to get access to capital. So they might go in, and a lot of people in South Africa would know a Spur. Around the world, people know Nando's. And you might have like franchises that want to get going, but they need working capital to be able to get going. So they've got a good track record and all that sort of stuff, and they need working capital to borrow. And so they effectively fund that gap in terms of that process. So in terms of the conscious side that you're looking at, that one's probably the most conscious of all of them, because effectively you're helping build businesses in terms of that process. And then the last one is an industrial property in Phoenix. And again, it's probably similar to the Manhattan one. It's a logistics building. You could argue there's a lot of value in logistics. You know, logistics is you buy something on Amazon, someone has to deliver it to you in terms of that whole process. But it's a stock standard industrial property. You're buying it, you're owning it, you're getting a rent from it. I don't know if we could say that ticks the conscious box. Like I don't know how left field we want to go in terms of what is conscious, what isn't conscious. Okay. On the income side, which is the second thing that you asked, this one here, you can see earns you an income of 10.35%. So it's a very healthy return in income based on dollars. It's a dollar return. Okay. But it's only cash. You get cash. So it's a debt instrument. So you're only getting an income. You're investing for 4 years. And then at the end of the 4 years, you get your capital back and you would have earned the interest through the process. This one here is an equity investment. So what that means is you're actually partnering with the developer, and you're getting the upside of the development. I'll come to your question now. But the income, there's only income. You're only getting paid income in 3 years' time. Okay. So based on your criteria, I would say no to that one, because you're not going to earn an income for 3 years necessarily.
Yeah.
Guys, please make sure your mics are on mute.
Thank you.
Who's on mute? I'm just going to mute all.
Whoever just said thank you, can you make sure your mic? You muted me as well, Scott.
Yeah, no, I was about to come unmute you.
So my question was, with the first one, the Catherine Street in Manhattan, that first, how often do the payouts happen?
So these ones, so this deal, this all the Manhattan deals, all three of these is the same project, but there's different ways to invest. So when the income is paid, it's paid every 6 months. So it's paid at the middle of the year and at the end of the year, every 6 months, basically.
So, Scott, for us non-knowers of these things, why are there different ways of supporting the same development, and why is the percentage that you earn so different?
Because, okay, let me show you this. I mean, this is very valuable, hopefully for you, but for everyone else, because this is going into more complex detail. But in a development, I'm just opening up the brochure for you. In a development, there's different stages of a development. So if you look here, you see the project timeline. So I and a number of the other mastermind members actually invested back in 2023 in this deal. Okay. And for 18 months, they've done what's called pre-development. So that's where they've purchased the site, they've got all the zoning, they basically were getting ready, the planning and everything to be able to build a development. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're going into construction. Because they're literally going to go and build the development, like wherever you are in the world, that's where the cranes go up and they do all the construction. Okay. And then in the middle of 2027, the building will be finished, and then you'll own the building, the yellow, where it's earning an income, because now the tenants will be paying rent, the commercial property will be paying rent, etc. And you'll own it, and the estimated time is for 5 years. So to answer your question, there's two different ways to invest. You can either invest in debt, so it's like a bank, okay? So you know how you go to the bank and you borrow money? It's the same. All they've done here is they've replaced the bank. So they've gone to private lenders and they've said, right, we want to borrow money to do the construction from private lenders, and we'll pay you a return for that.
Okay.
And the other option is become an equity holder with us. So you're a partner in the deal, and you're going to benefit from the upside. So it's not just for the debt. You're actually a partner in the deal. You're getting the upside of the development. Okay. So why is there three? Because what we've done on our platform is we've done debt, which is on this side of the fence. We've done equity, which is on this side of the fence. And then we've done a blend, which is in the middle. Now, why a blend? If you invest $100, $50 has gone into debt, $50 has gone into equity. And if you do the blend, you get the best of both worlds.
Okay. So which one is the blend?
So let me just go back to where we were. So the blend is the one here. So it says here, debt, equity, 50-50 blend. So here you're getting a balance. Here you're getting the income and you're getting capital growth. You're getting income and capital growth.
Okay.
Here you're getting just income, and here you're primarily just getting capital growth. And this is the blend.
But so why, and this might be so stupid, sorry if it is, but why are the first two offers so much more attractive in terms of the percentages? Because do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I would have thought the blend would have been more beneficial to me. But if I'm looking at the percentages, the equity option has got a higher percentage.
Yeah, so if you look at the blend, okay, like that's 10 and that's 22. In the middle is 17. So that's why it's blend. Where this is confusing is that's sitting at 10 and this is 9. But you asked, and that's why I asked you for your strategy. Remember, this only starts paying out in it'll basically be late 2027, early 2028. So you said you want cash flow. So it looks nice at 9%, but as I say to people over and over again, please be aware that there's no cash flow during the construction period. So reminding you here, there's no cash flow during this period if you go into equity.
Okay.
It's only cash flow. Think of it logically. When a building's being built, there's no money being made. Okay. But once the building's finished, there's tenants paying rent. Once the tenants are paying rent, then you can earn an income.
Okay. So for everybody that's watching, the reason why I want equity, the reason why I want to invest in investments that are giving me cash flow is so that I've got extra capital to keep reinvesting so that my investments grow as quickly as possible. So it's not for me to earn passive income, for me to subsidize my lifestyle at this point, but rather to grow my investment portfolio as quickly as possible. So Scott, with that knowledge, does that make sense, what I just said?
Now, let me stop sharing my screen because I want to share. So what you've just said, the analogy I like to use, you've got a chicken and the chicken lays an egg.
Yes.
That egg becomes another chicken. Now
Yes,
you've got 2 chickens laying 2 eggs.
that's it.
Those 2 eggs become 2 more chickens. Now you got 4 chickens laying 4 eggs. So what you've just said there is that's the power of reinvesting. And as Albert Einstein said, it's the eighth wonder of the world, which is compound interest. Because so you're getting the reinvestment in terms of the process. So that's exactly what you're saying and what you're explaining to everyone. I know it's a very simple analogy with the chicken thing, but that's what I'm.
No, it's a good one. It makes it like visually immediately understandable.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a great one.
So if you look
then
at,
would I go with the hybrid one?
yeah, so probably for you the blend would be the one in the middle. You know what I mean? Because you're getting best of both worlds. Okay. If you take the London private equity, it's got a nice high return. It's more of a capital growth investment. There is some income, but to answer your question on timing, this is paid out annually. Okay, so it's paid once a year. Okay. And then the two that are the best income based on what you're looking for income is backed. Backed is paid monthly on income.
Okay.
And so is Air Baggett, paid monthly.
Okay, and I'm just going to try and enlarge them so that I can see because it's very small on the screen.
Why don't you share your screen now? Because I only wanted just because I could show you around basically.
Share. Do I have sharing rights?
Yeah.
I do. Okay. So, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Why do I have so many more things listed than you?
No, because you're looking at look there. The button says open right at the top there. It says open. Yeah, and the ones you were looking at were all the deals that we've done. So it's all the deals that we've done all through the past. So those are all the live ones. Now they look. See, it says funded there.
Yes.
Funded.
Okay, so
So everything below that's been
deals.
funded. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It's nice, guys, just for those who are watching for the first time, to be able to see what the history is as well, and what has been already accomplished by these companies together. And one of the things that I want everyone watching to also understand is that Scott has been in this for 20 years. I know your community knows this, but for my community, Scott's been doing this for 20 years. He knows his stuff. Okay,
well,
so
I don't know about knows my stuff, but I know what not to do.
You do know your stuff. And the thing that I really appreciate about you, Scott, is where you don't know something, you get someone in that does. You don't try to you don't try to pretend that you know everything. You go, okay, who's the best person to inform us about this? And you bring in people, which I think is great. Nobody can know everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so in these ones, I would want to invest in this one.
Yeah.
I like this one because it supports new technology for mothers and babies and dads. So I really like that one as well. These are the two that I wanted to look at. So this one, the investment IRR is 9.42%.
So that's a straight debt product. So remember, you effectively are lending money to American businesses, and it's a debt product. So you put your money in, it's a 3-year investment. You get paid a debt return of 8.75%, and then you get your capital back after 3 years.
Okay, and this one, your investment.
So this one, you're buying into an industrial property, and you're getting both the income. So when the rent is paid every month or every quarter, you're getting the income, plus you're getting the capital growth on the project.
Okay. So although it doesn't resonate with my investment strategies from a practical kind of wanting to grow cash quickly strategy, this would be a good investment.
Yeah, look, so I mean, I'm not allowed to, this is for everyone else, I'm not allowed to give financial advice. So all I can do is I could say, well, what would I do? Okay. if I had $1,000 to invest and I was in Susana's situation and or most other people's situation, I think there's tremendous value in diversification. So if you were to look at 4 different deals, you do one in Manhattan, you do one in London, you do one in Austin, and you do one in Phoenix. Okay, what are you going to achieve by doing that? You're immediately investing in 2 different countries. You're investing in 2 different currencies. You're investing in 4 different assets, so 4 different types of investments. You're investing in with 4 different partners because there's different partners in everything. So you don't have all the exposure to one partner, and you're investing over different timelines. The one's 3 years, the one's 5 years, the one's 7 years. It just gives you the different timelines in terms of the process. So why this is so important, Susana, is that that's the kind of investment side. Okay. And then actually there's the human knowledge side. Because a year from now, you'll be like, I know what debt is because I invested in this and I see how this works now. Or I know what property is because I now understand what this is. Or I know what baby carrier private equity is. You understand what I'm saying? So I think there's also a tremendous amount of value in learning while doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so as well. The other thing that I just want to add for everyone that I think is amazing, and I mean, I literally tell my Uber drivers about Wealth Migrate because when I met Scott, you needed, I think it was $100,000 to kind of get involved. And then a couple of years later, we spoke at another event and it was $1,000 to get involved in being able to invest in these kinds of amazing opportunities. And now it's as little as $10. So today, for instance, I think I've got like $1,200 that I've set aside that I want to stick in and make investments with. But you can literally have as little as $10 and you will be able to start your investment journey. And I think that that is amazing and also takes away all of the, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. You can afford $10. A cup of coffee is like, or 2 cups of coffee is $10. So I really, really love that. And I wanted to just reiterate that and plant that seed in your mind. If it's lack of knowledge, then Wealth Migrate and Wealth Hackers help you with that. If it's lack of money, there's the tiniest investment, $10. If you're investing $10 a month, at least you're starting your journey. What is that? The third one, Scott?
Time. So 10 years ago, if you wanted to do this, you had to fly overseas with me. You needed weeks, if not months, to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I think
and now look at it. You've just run through all of them with me in a few minutes, and I know all the different investments. They've been checked out, and so this is time.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor because you can reverse it. So if I were you, if you're comfortable, I would share your screen and I would actually go and invest in those 4 deals. And even if you wanted to change your mind, I'll show you how you can do that.
I can change my mind?
That's a dangerous thing to say to a lady. Anyway, okay. So which one do you want to start with?
I think my first investment must be this one.
Okay, so carry for it. Okay, so click on that. Okay, now look in the right corner there. It says invest in this deal. Top right corner, invest in this deal. Okay, now
$1,300 to.
So what do you want to do what I said and break it up into 4 separate investments?
Yes. Do you have a calculator? Can you divide that by 4 for me?
So it's basically $330, basically.
Can it be 333?
Can be any amount you want. Yeah.
I mean, that's a cute number.
Okay, now go down to the bottom. Go continue. Now digitally sign those. There's 4 blocks. Just digitally sign them. You can download the agreement if you want to. You see that download button?
Yeah.
You don't have to because everything's online. You go, I agree, and you go make investment.
Look how I took it up a notch. Congratulations. Your transaction was successful. Guys, I'm an official investor in this beautiful product that helps moms and dads to take care of their babies better. Yeah.
So Susanna, you've just invested in London. If you click view profile there, just go to view profile.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can see there's your investment, $333. And if you decided to and you want to change your mind, you can see a big red button. You can go cancel investment.
How much time do I have to cancel my
You've
investment?
got until the deal closes. So we generally
Okay.
do a book build every at the end of every month. So generally, I would argue you've got until the end of the month, basically, in terms of that process. But now, what I want
Okay.
you to do now, click on the logo at the top left corner, and you'll see all the deals are there again. Now go and
Yeah.
choose your second deal.
My second deal would have to be this one.
Okay, so now we're helping business owners in Austin. Same process. You've got the invest in the deal. Okay, 333. Okay, and then go continue. Digitally, just you missed one at the top. Remember, there's four.
Yeah.
Okay, and you go, I agree. Make investment. And there we are.
Yay, guys, I'm helping business owners to achieve their dreams. This is so exciting. Woo!
So
I love it.
So what you've just done, which I don't think most people fully take, a lot of people now take for granted, but think about what it would have taken 10 years ago to invest in London and then fly all the way to Austin and invest in Austin.
I know. And also just celebrating, like going, oh my God, I'm helping people. Like I'm literally helping people by investing my money. I am using my money, the money that I've earned and attracted to help people. And there's so much kind of old stigma that a lot of people have around money, right? Like money is bad, money is evil, all of these things. Being materialistic is evil, but actually money is just energy. And the more money we have, the more ability we have to love. And that sounds like a complete mind shift for a lot of people, but it's true. Like, look at this. I've just invested in 2 companies, and from that, they are able to expand love in other people's lives all over the world. This is amazing. Okay, yay. All right. No, I'm going to share again because we're going to do the last 2 investments. What is the time? Okay, we still on time. Okay, cool. So now I can say browse marketplace.
Yep, browse marketplace. Yep.
Okay. And then
So you want to go to that one there, the blend.
I'm going to do the hybrid, right? So 50-50 blend. And now what I am going to need you to do, Scott, is actually grab your calculator because it's adding the small fees on. Or I suppose I can
that's
just
fine.
use
You're
whatever's
still,
left
yeah,
over.
you're
Hey.
still, yeah, it's fine. So you got 333. You'll be out by $1. Or no,
Oh, will I?
$3. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, and you go continue. You go, I agree. Make investment. Now, this is the part that I find the most amazing. Like, I mean, I've been investing in America since 2011. And I mean, you've just invested in the heart of Manhattan, like not even 2 kilometers from the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, it's a dream for almost anyone on the planet to own property in Manhattan. And you've just done it.
And I now own property in Manhattan. That's amazing. I'm a property owner, and the property I own is in Manhattan, just so that everyone knows. Great.
I always joke with people, Susana, when you drive down the street in Manhattan, you'll turn to the people and you'll say, that's my building. And
yes.
No one ever asks you how much of that building you own, but
but that's the same as I once got given the Zimbabwean dollars that are like, which are the dollars that are like it's worth very little in our currency, but I've got 100 million. It's a note. It's 100 million, and I'm like I'm a billionaire, guys. I check. It is, and it's true in that sense.
So this deal is an interesting deal. This is in Phoenix. And so just go that same thing. So Phoenix is the top three commercial property markets in America. And you're literally investing in an industrial logistics, which has been one of the top sectors since COVID, because they need all the logistics centers to do the e-commerce. And yep, so there are, you've got the maths. So if you go down, you go continue. Oop, you don't have enough funds. Okay, make that, yeah, just make that 310. 310, 310.
310.
Yeah, there we are.
Do I want to invest in this one? I suppose I can change my mind.
You can, that's the beauty. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
I would look, based on what you've said, unless there's reasons outside of the investment thesis, this is a very good operator on the ground, a good market, good property. It's paid monthly as well, which you know, for me makes a big difference. It took us a while to get the payment transactions flowing into wallets, which Paolo and the team have finally got on top of now. But the building is paid monthly, which is important.
Okay, I've done it. Okay, amazing. Now I'm going to view my portfolio. Guys, watch.
So if you go there, so what if you look there, your total investments are $1,309, and you can see the 4 investments that you've made. And you can see your target return, and you can also see your launch date when they're launching in terms of that process. And if you wanted to cancel, you can. But now there's nothing to do, literally nothing to do, other than sit back and wait for those investments to put money in your pocket.
And then, Scott, when it pays out, does it pay directly into my wallet?
It pays directly into your wallet. So if you go to your wallet, just go to the left-hand side. You've got a different, yeah, just click on that. No, yeah, they're wallets, yeah. So this is your wallet. And if you look, so down the bottom, there's nothing down the bottom. Oh, wait, there's, because you've made the transactions now. Whenever your income comes in, when your capital comes back to you, it all gets paid into your wallet. You don't have to go like, so back to the same problem you used to have 10 years ago. If you had 4 different investments, you'd have 4 different companies, you'd have 4 different bank accounts. It'd be a bloody disaster trying to manage it all. Whereas now everything will just get paid into your wallet. And it's your wallet. You're in charge of your wallet. You see how you can deposit your money or you can withdraw your money. If you click withdraw, then you can send your money, you know, at any time you can take your money out.
So now, what is beautiful for me, may I just share, is that my goal was to invest in at least 2 different diversified investments per month, because I'm trying to expand my different things that I'm investing in, right? Because how many did you say is the what you should aim for?
So Ray Dalio says that we should all aim for roughly 15.
15, right?
Because if we got 15 and we diversified, then we don't have all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah. So I worked out if I invest in at least 2 different ones a month and just start this, because this year for me, guys, is my foundational year in investments, because I've always been just like looked after by the universe, which is beautiful. But I want to create the kind of lasting wealth and legacy that that really nurtures and looks after my money and grows it and then impacts others in a beautiful way. So what's so great about this is that I'm almost at my goal, Scott. So I need to make 1 more diversified investment this month in order, no, because now we're in April. So I need to actually make 3 to catch up, because I invested in Bitcoin and now I've just invested in 4 different properties here. So now I'm at 5.
Yeah.
We're in the 4th month. So I need to do another 3 this month.
No, but just remember that my only caveat to what you just said there is it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So what's much more important is to wait. Like there's no deal that's so good that won't be another good deal. Like, does that make sense? Okay. And so what I find important is that it's more the consistency that counts than like waiting for the perfect deal. But also on the other hand, don't rush out and just say, oh, because I mean, you can go and invest in like 10 different things, you know what I mean? Like, but it's not necessarily good for you in terms of the process. So, and that's why I started off, it might hopefully sort of make sense, but that's why I started off sort of explaining this. And I'm just showing my screen here quickly. Because if you've got a plan, like if you like to walk on Table Mountain, if you've got a plan of where you're going to go, the chances of getting there are much better than if you're just walking around any hill, any mountain. Okay, so it's good to have a guidance around. That's why we started off with what's your strategy, because there's certain values, and you might not want to invest in a tobacco company. I'm just making it up, okay, because it doesn't resonate with you. And then on the other side, it's like, right, what type of returns do I need to look for, and what am I, because that's where you start, and then you have to align the deals to your plan. And what most people get wrong is they go from deal to deal saying, is this deal a good deal? Is this deal a good deal? But they don't have a plan, and then they make it about the deal, but not about the plan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I haven't gotten to my goal yet, because I've been being very strategic about getting to those goals. But if I were to invest in other things now, what would you recommend?
Well, sure. That's now we really.
Is that a whole other webinar?
Yeah. So it is a whole other webinar. No, but I mean, I think if you look at it, I mean, there's definitely a component of investing in ETFs. So that's the stock market. It's very volatile at the moment, based on everything that's happening with Trump and China and everything in between. And so you do want to have a component in the stock market. You can't do it through our platform. We're not trying to do everything for everyone, but you can do it through, like Easy Equities as an example in South Africa. You can do it through that. There's lots of platforms you can do that through. You again you're part of the mastermind. So and I know you're meeting with Anthony. They can actually help you. So I would wait for them personally, because they use a company called Swissquote, and it's just better in terms of the process. And again, this also comes back to what I said earlier about learning, because now you start to get a feel, okay, well, this is property, and this is private equity, and this is crypto, and this is the stock market. And the one thing I want to say to you, Susana, but to everyone else, you don't have to be an expert in all the asset classes. In fact, don't even try, because you won't succeed. But what's really important is that you have to partner with people that know what they're doing. So like, again, just to use the ETF thing, you could go to Easy Equities or any other platform tomorrow morning. You could just go on there and chuck some money at something. The chances of you succeeding are quite small compared to if you sit with Anthony and he goes, do this, do this, do this. The chances of succeeding are much higher. Anthony, for those who don't know, is part of the family office.
He's amazing, guys. Like if you get the opportunity to listen to Anthony sharing, definitely dive in there. He's really, really fantastic. I just want to quickly just say to Kevin and to Marion that thank you for your comments. Marion is saying, congratulations, Susana. Really enjoyed this. Thank you. Thank you for being here as I make my first investments. And,
I think it's pretty exciting. It was a great idea on your half to do it live, but I'd love to hear from other people, because I sometimes take this stuff for granted. Like is this valuable to see other people? And the one thing I love with you, Susana, is you ask questions which are simple questions, but great questions, because they're what everyone else is actually asking anyway,
Yeah, I mean, thank you. And thank you for your patience with me, because I will always ask the seemingly stupid questions, because this is new to me. And so I don't mind feeling awkward for you guys to feel like you're not alone in the awkwardness of not having all the information. And Kevin is saying this was so interesting and helpful. So many gems of wisdom. Arthur is saying very helpful to see it in action. Thank you so much. So I think it is definitely helpful. And Marion is saying no stupid questions ever. Yes, but do you know what I mean? It's those like awkward questions like, oh, I'm supposed to know this. Archie is saying congratulations. Love your energy and enthusiasm. Thank you, Archie. Thomas, well done, Susana. Susana's new property tycoon. Yes, I am. And Fiona, wonderful and well done, Susana. Thank you. So guys, thank you so much for being such beautiful, supportive community as well. Bram, congratulations, Susana. You answered a lot of my questions. Amazing. So this is why, guys, I'm constantly stepping into vulnerability and showing like my awkwardness at not knowing things, or my vulnerability at feeling, whatever it is I'm feeling, and being completely imperfect in my perfection, because all of us are perfect in our imperfection. And I do it because I want you guys to know that you're not alone on your journey. And the reason why I am doing this more than anything else is I want you to experience yourselves as the version that you love the most, and that you celebrate the most, and that you feel happiest experiencing yourself being, right? Because we only have one life that we know of in this consciousness, with this body, with this mind, with this heart, right? And we might as well make it as exceptional as possible. And this is why I partner with amazing people like Scott Picken and Wealth Hackers and Wealth Migrate. And we've actually, Scott and I created, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I am going to mention it. I know we need to wrap up and go, but I wanted to just mention that if anybody hasn't signed up yet for our Abundance 2025 package, it's such a great package. Scott, do you have the link that we can just pop into
Yeah,
the
I'll put the
chat?
link. I was also just going to chuck it up on the screen for everyone.
Okay, great. But it's basically, it's my mini manifestation course, which there's nothing mini about it, but it's how to attract with ease the beautiful money, wealth, experiences, all of those things that you really want into your life. And I nurture that side of yourself. In fact, recently, Scott and I had the experience of working together, and I asked everyone to go and ground between sessions. For those of you who don't know what grounding is, it's literally walking bare feet on the earth. And some people looked at me and literally said, like, that's very woohoo. Can't go there. But I in the meantime, I made a video which I'll share on my Instagram. If you guys are not following me, please do. I would love to share with you as the community. But there's scientific evidence that walking bare feet on the ground does so many brilliant things for you. It infuses your body with the ions that you actually need in order to create a sense of well-being and happiness within your system. It calms down your nervous system. It helps with inflammation in your system. It helps with better sleep. There are so many reasons why walking barefoot on the ground is so fantastic and good for you. Now, this sounds like a simple little silly thing to do, but if you are doing these brilliant little things every day that are actually giving you the right vibrational frequency and the right energy to move through life at a heightened state, you start attracting things with ease without even needing to think about it. So I'll give you a silly example. Can you stop sharing for just a moment, Scott? I'll give you a silly example, but Scott, you'll actually like this. I've recently been going, okay, right, I know I exercise and everything, but I need to start doing weights. But because I move around everywhere, I've been looking at, the ones you strap onto yourself, those weights. And so I thought, okay, I need to go and get myself a set of these weights. And then I had this idea, I actually just want to I just want to get them for free. Yesterday, I had Airbnb'd my apartment out. Yesterday, I'm looking through the cupboard in the one guest room, and somebody has left a set of exactly those weights in the weight that I wanted, 2 kilograms. Yeah, I contacted them. No, I don't want to take them they were too heavy to fly on the plane. You enjoy them. Thanks, universe. Tick, tick. So, I mean, that's a silly little example, but we can start manifesting from that place of just playing with the universe and having fun with the universe. And now you can put that thing up. So Scott and I came together and created a lovely package for anybody that's interested. And it is the 30-day passive income challenge, plus my mini manifestation course, and plus a whole lot of delicious extras, which I think I'll let Scott go through the majority of them with you. I cannot see. I don't know how to make this bigger. But you'll get the mini manifestation course from me. And you'll also get live Q&A sessions with me in a container community. And as we know, that just really very much exponentiates, that's not even a word, but your chances of success like just get so much bigger if you're in a community of like-minded people that are your cheerleaders, guys. And that's why Scott and I, like, I'm always cheering Scott on. I'm like, what are you doing? How are you doing? I know you're crazy busy, but are you good? Like, I want to make sure he's doing well, and I'm checking in on him. Now, if you've got a whole community of people where you're recognizing each other's wins, where you are communicating your vulnerabilities and being supported, what a beautiful space. I've got people that have done my courses that are now best friends that live in different countries and Zoom each other every week to have like coffee chats and check in on each other like every day. So this is so, so beautiful, the power of community. And then from Scott's side, drum roll, brrr, go Scott.
No, look, I think so for us, what we created is the 30-day passive income challenge. Again, I think we're on to our fourth one now, where people can literally earn. So everything that Susana's been talking about, it's actually about getting tangible physical results in the bank account within 30 days of making the first investment. We've got Wealth Going Global, which is the course that we put together, which is all around the strategy, what countries to invest, what currencies, what assets, what partners. And then we got the Wealth Hackers, which is the community that I'm very proud to be part of, where people can have the ongoing. And as you said, Susana, I'm here every Friday. Alex is available every Wednesday. And the whole logic is to be able to talk and to have a conversation. It's not all presentations. It's a conversation in terms of the process. So, I think today is a good example of that. We came into this year with the philosophy of abundance, and certainly Trump and the geopolitics has made it an interesting first quarter. But I do think it's one of those things that if you get your mindset right and everything that Susana's been talking about in terms of where you're at as a human being, and then you've also got the knowledge, you can avoid all the noise is the best way to describe it. And you kind of stick to the fundamentals. And, certainly from my experience, I'm now sort of showing my age a little bit, but it's actually in these tumultuous times where the best opportunities sit. But you've got to be centered energetically to be able to make the right decisions. And you've also got to have the knowledge and the access to deals to be able to do it. And I think we tried to combine the two together to allow people to have that abundance.
Yeah, I mean, that's why. So I work mind, body, heart, and spirit, guys. So you have to work in alignment with all of those together. And one of the things that I really want to say to you as we wrap up, because I recognize that we do need to go, is that there is nothing that if you got this desire inside of you and you can tap into the truth that it's actually something you truly desire, not something that society has made you think you need, because there's a big difference there, but like a true desire, something that is true to you. It means that it is created for you. It's just about you becoming a vibrational match to that desire, and then it appears in your world like instantly, right? So there is nothing that, if it's not a true desire that is aligned with your soul, and this is something that we learn how to distinguish between, because it's really, really important. You might be chasing something that is not actually what your soul even really wants. And you've been chasing it because society has told you you needed it, right? We're going to remove that clutter and get to a place where what truly makes you happy, what truly makes your heart sing, what truly brings you joy, right? And then work mind, body, heart, and spirit. So we work with mindset 100%. We work with the body, not only with the physical actions, but also with somatic healing, so that you're releasing what no longer serves you and creating the space for what does serve you to come in, right? With the heart, with the emotions, we've got to connect all of these three. And then with the spirit, with the vibrational frequency. And when you get to that match, then the wealth, the everything, the beautiful things, they just start flowing in. And then you've got lovely Scott's team who helps you grow that wealth and helps you create that action plan so that you can create that legacy, so that you can create that beautiful blueprint of how to expand your life in a way that really makes sense to you and makes you feel safe and delicious and happy. So I think that's it. Scott, what do you think?
Oh, no, look, so just for people, I've put the link in the chat. If you do want to go, you'll literally go to this link. It'll open it up. Shane always tells me that I should show people how it works. So you can literally go here. If you want to watch a longer presentation that we did. And then you've effectively got the two packages. And if you're interested in either one of them, you can literally click on it and it'll take you directly through to school. And you can sign up and purchase the package in terms of getting access to everything. But no, Susana, as always, it's an honor and a privilege to share with you. I'm glad the community enjoyed it. I actually, for me, it's very solid. I always present and I'm always looking at myself on my camera with my investment platform. So it's so nice to actually see someone else do it. It's also interesting for me to watch the user experience, watch where your mouse is going and just to kind of see how it works. But yeah, just well done to you. And I think, again, I can't overemphasize for people. I've been doing this 28 years. 10 years ago, to achieve what you just had to achieve would have involved multiple airplane flights, weeks and months of travel. We would have had set up structures in England and America. We would have set up bank accounts in England and America. And now you've done it from the comfort of your couch. And I just think it truly shows the power of what's possible in terms of technology. But most importantly, you've invested at a level alongside the top 1% that none of us previously ever had access to. And the whole philosophy is when you invest like the top 1%, you're going to get the same results as the top 1%. And so, well done to you. It's really amazing watching it.
Yay! I'm so excited. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for all your support and the beautiful opportunities that you're creating for people. I really see you. I see your heart. I see your intentions. And I just appreciate the human being that you are in this world. So thank you. And
Awesome.
Thank you for having me in your community. And to everybody watching, thank you so much for being here, for making the time. I'm so glad that you found it as useful as I did. Chiba, I don't know how to pronounce your first name. Scott, do you know how to pronounce Chiba's first name?
Bagwandas.
Say it again.
Bagwandas.
Bagwandas, thank you. Thank you for loving my energy and sending so much love to you as well. Kevin, thank you so much. Bram, thank you so much. Esther, thank you so much. Alistair, thank you guys. Everybody that's here, Ryan, everyone, I'm so sorry if I don't mention your names. I'm like scrolling through, but I really appreciate each and every one of you that is here, and everyone on Instagram as well. Sorry if I ignored you for a second there. Wayne, Diz, thank you. Russ, hello, Paul, thank you. Tilly, hi. Louiso, hello, Stephen. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Kirk. I'm not going to get through all of these names. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Babwalwa. Thank you so much, guys. But I'm sending you so much love. And Scott will have the recording of this. What I'm going to do is I'll put the link in my bio so that if anybody wants to watch the recording of it, they'll receive it in my newsletter and then also the link in my bio. Scott, can you get that to me as soon as you can?
I'll get it. Today's a beautiful day. It might be boating afternoon, but I'll get it as soon as I can.
Oh, I know. Look at this. I'm sitting here working with you and look at this day.
It's going to take a lot of self-control not to be out of here before 5 o'clock.
No, you can. I think you can send it. You can send it on Monday.
I'll figure it out.
I think it's good to go and get in the ocean or get in the water. You must also live beautiful life.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Keep well. Bye then.